the hallmark of this budget as a commitment to fiscal rectitude, fiscal transparency, and also what she called a giveaway to India's urban middle classes. I want to put this in a larger framework, which is that this was the first budget of the third term of the government led by my chairman, Prime Minister Modi. And it's taking place at a turbulent time in the global economy. I don't need to stress that. But I think it was very well aligned with the remaining life of this parliament, sending out signals for the medium term, which is the next 5 years, including on the fiscal side. But equally importantly, the Prime Minister has raised the aspirations of the Indian public to try and be a developed society by 2047, which is only 22 years away, and which is the 100th anniversary of India's independence. And so you need to see the budget in a one-year perspective, which is reactivating the economy, a 5-year perspective, and then a 22-year perspective to 2047. I'm glad to elaborate on that if you wish.
Absolutely, no doubt this budget very closely scrutinised, to your point that it is the first under Modi's third term. I'm keen to get your thoughts on how we've seen this shift from capex to consumption, and to our reporter's point at TV18, whether that consumption can then translate into demand, which will then feed into more investment down the road.
Well, you've got that absolutely right. I think underlying all of this is a budget which wants to make India attractive for domestic investment, but just as much foreign investment. There's some misunderstanding about how our FDI has been doing, and that misunderstanding is because there's been a difference between gross inflows and net inflows. And I should say that the net outflow is also a positive story because it reassures venture capital and other private equity funds that as and when they wish to repatriate profits, they're completely free to do so. But nonetheless, there is a window of opportunity, and this was true even before the new administration took over in the US, to, if you like, be eligible for the new world of friendshoring and China plus one, call it what you will. India has scored, I would say, a remarkable success with some of the relocation of the iPhone. So the larger thrust with the 5-year perspective that I mentioned of the budget is to, as it were, release the animal spirits of the Indian corporate sector, which has been sitting on its hands a little bit when it comes to investment and foreign investment through a number of measures that I can go into, with the idea of retaining India's role as the fastest growing major economy. And not only we and Indian sources, even the IMF thinks that by the end of this decade, India could be the third largest economy in the world,